All right, we're here. It took a minute to set up. My camera is not, I'm not like all the way used to setting up my camera in my car yet. I'm not like Sam Stulik is a master at that stuff. He's been doing it for 2+ years now, and I've done like maybe 3 videos. So, all right, well, we're just gonna see if we can, oh. All right, hold on. All right, so, yeah, we're back. This is gonna be I don't even know what episode this is, like Prelift Talks like 7? Yeah, it's chest day. Plan for today, same as always. Going in there to absolutely just like destroy my chest. There's no plan of less intensity. There's no plan of less volume. We've kept volume the same and intensity the same, if not like more. It's just the whole consistency thing, guys. You know, we're going in, day out, always looking for something to improve on. So I always set myself a goal of like, whatever the workout might be, right? I'm gonna do something better than I did the previous workout. Whether it's, you know, more weights, more reps, or if it's like a mental thing too. So that's like what I always try to strive for, is improving in some sort of aspect in the gym. And maybe it's just the fact that maybe I'm not feeling the strongest today, and so I'll be able to take that, change my mindset, and attack it from a different angle. So what that would look like would be me going for just getting more feeler reps, and focusing on better contractions, better form, because you can never go wrong with better form. I think everyone can improve their form. There's no like you get to the top after lifting for 10 years or 20 years and you're just a master at it. Like, everyone can learn. That's why the pros are always learning. But anyway, the kind of point I wanted to talk about today was more about something that I've been going through the last couple weeks. Actually, I would say the last week. And that's just kind of been like, you know, I've talked a little bit about this in my story, but it's the consistency factor of, you know, consistently doing and going through the motions when, you know, you don't feel like it, especially when you're not seeing any results. And I felt like that kind of resonated with me the last couple weeks, or the last week, because, you know, it's hard putting out content and seeing it like get, you know, 10 views, or, you know, doesn't do very well. And the mindset shift I had was kind of brought to me into my attention by something that actually happened to me in the gym. And if you're watching this and you watch my videos, you know who you are. You came up to me at the gym with another one of your buddies. Well, I'm not sure if you watched my videos either, but they both kind of came up to me while I was doing cardio and just, you know, talked to me about how they've been watching my videos, asked me for training or different piece of advice. And it was just cool because it's like, maybe I'm not like quote unquote blowing up on you know, social media at all, but that's not my goal, right? I had to change my perspective and be like, all right, because I posted a video and it didn't do very well last week, and it was just kind of affecting getting into my head. And, you know, I think that having that perspective shift, like, all right, you know, I'm realizing that this is not what really matters. What really matters is being able to have these one-on-one conversations, being able to actually help more people in person and change more lives in person than trying to, oh my gosh, what are we doing? Seriously. Man, drivers in this area are so annoying sometimes. But where was I? Yeah. I would rather change someone's perspective when it comes to lifting mindset by having an actual real conversation than, you know, have people using, you know, my code or something like that, or I don't have a code or anything like that, but like being like an influencer and trying to get as many people as possible hooked on my meal plan or hooked on my ideology. And yeah, at the end of the day, like I do want to create some change, in the area, and it's eventually going to come down to helping more and more people. But having the one-on-one conversations truly changes your perspective, because it's like I'm actually able to, help and use my knowledge to help this person. So anyway, it was a long rant, but my whole point behind this is when you feel like things aren't going your way, right? Maybe you're going through some sort of plateau and you can't see any progress, and it just seems like you're in the mud in the thick of it. The reality is maybe you won't see progress for a while, and you're doing everything that you need to, and it just feels like, it's so hard, right? That's the most important time to go harder and to not give up, because so many people get caught up by that, and that's what the dream killer is. It's those challenges right away, especially when you're starting out. You get your newbie gains for a little bit, and maybe you start out skinnier, maybe you start out fat, right? And you don't really see a whole lot of progress right away, and you know that you're doing everything right, but there just seems to be no progress. There can be outside factors, man, and that's kind of the whole point I'm getting across here is those outside factors shouldn't change on what you can control. You can change your diet, you can change your recovery, you can keep doing and adding up those small wins like you do every single day, and eventually you're gonna prevail. Because sometimes it might just be a small bump in the road. And maybe it's a patience test, right? I truly believe that, you get tested throughout life, right? And I think these tests are to help mature us, both mentally, sometimes physically, to become better people. Because if we just were to journey throughout life, acting the same, living the same lives, what fun would that be? What would be the purpose to life if that was all it was? So you have to think about that kind of stuff and realize that that is a way for you to grow. So take advantage of it. Maybe it takes some self-reflection where you're okay, I know this sucks right now, but what can I learn from this? And sometimes you can learn something, but other times it might not be an answer that you fully understand, and you may never understand it. But I think it's just important to realize that you have to prevail and keep pushing through, because that's where so many people give up and they stay stagnant, or they just give up in general. You see it all the time with people who get into the gym for the first couple months, they hit a plateau, or they see some progress, hit a plateau, and they kind of slowly fall back into their old habits of eating McDonald's every once a week, and then maybe it's twice a week, going out with their friends on the weekends, drinking a little bit, maybe you get drunk a couple times, and then it's every other day, and then it's daily, and then you're back to your old vices. And that's not what this is about, right? The gym is a community that all wants to uplift each other, but sometimes that discipline is on you to keep pushing forward in those moments and face adversity head on. And so that's kind of what I took it throughout my business, right? Because these videos are a way for me to help my business. Man, it is packed today. Damn, a lot of people here. What is going on? Everyone's at the gym today. And it's funny because this is another example of what happens too, is a lot of people will go to the gym for the first portion of the week. They'll take the weekends off. And, we live in La Crosse, Wisconsin, which is pretty much like the drinking capital of the Midwest. And so what is everyone doing? Why isn't everyone at the gym Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? They're all drinking with their buddies. They're out, partying and reversing what they're doing at the gym. So it's just what's the point of even going if all you do is lose progress? And that's what I'm getting at. It's like it makes people give up, because it's like, whoa, I'm not seeing progress, and they don't see the most basic thing straight in front of them. It's the alcoholism, the parties. The point is, whatever you guys do in life, right? Creating your own business, maybe you're a doctor, or a chiropractor, or something like that. You want to run a marathon. You want to be a professional golfer. Whatever the case might be, there's going to be adversity that stands in your way. So if you go in expecting that there's not going to be anything, like, you're wrong. Some of that adversity is straight up no progress, even though you're doing your hardest work. And maybe it seems like you deserve that position at that new job, or you deserve to be better off. But that's where God helps you to learn how to be humble. I think that's something that more people need. More people need to be humbled, because that's gonna help them with the long game. I think a lot of people burn out really fast because, they get the success super early and they don't know how to act. They haven't gone through these challenges. Maybe the challenge is actually them losing that success and having to build it all over again. And that's even bigger adversity, to have to overcome that. But most people just quit. So that's where you have to ask that question to yourself, like, what can I learn from this? How bad do I want it? Simple as those two questions. So, hope you guys learned something from this video. Maybe you got some sort of entertainment out of it. But I'll be doing more of these. We're coming back again strong next week with this video. I've got another video coming out. I think what I'll do is I'll post this one tomorrow, so that it will be Tuesday. I'll post another video on Thursday and then another video on Saturday. So we're gonna do 3 videos this week, because you asked for it. And yeah, we're just gonna keep grinding. Every single day is a new opportunity to learn something new, to take advantage of the day, to get 1% better each day. The PR 24/7 mindset. You're hitting a PR 24/7 every single day. I'll see you guys later.